Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the Chrissie Mayr podcast. We are on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, and SoundCloud. And if you're listening to us on iTunes right now, go ahead and leave a 5-star review, please, and thank you. I'm doing stand-up, hopefully in a city near you. This Saturday, I'll be opening for Doug Stanhope at the Foxwoods Casino in Connecticut. Then I'm going to be in Vegas with Comedians of the Compound next weekend, September 10th and 11th. At the Plaza Hotel at the Comedy Works Club, right there in the hotel. There are going to be 4 shows Saturday and Sunday. Very excited to get out to Vegas again. And then the weekend after that, September 17th and 18th, I'll be back in Texas headlining Hyenas in Dallas, doing 4 shows out there. And then October 16th, I'll be back with the Comedians of the Compound. We're doing a stadium show in Lakewood, New Jersey. I believe it's at the Blue Claw Stadium. And then I'll be heading to California. Holy cow. October 22nd and 23rd, doing 4 shows at the Broadway Comedy Club West with Sam Tripoli and Bridget Fetisi. Very excited to go down there. Quick shout out to our new sponsor. This is very exciting and the first time I'm doing this read, so bear with me. And I'm excited. I'm excited to do this read because I agree. I already agree with what this says. Dating apps are terrible, which they are. We all know this. They're superficial, face swiping apps. And then there are the quote unquote, you know, expert matching apps. Both usually waste of your time and your money. The solution is values-based matching. If you're a conservative, things probably aren't going to work out with someone who's a total lefty. Same with religion, lifestyle, how to raise your children, and other core values. Sure, anybody might change to meet who you are, but why not just find the perfect match right off the bat? DROM, D-R-O-M, is a free new values-based dating app. You pick the deal breakers and the deal makers. There are no experts and no match percentages, and you don't have to addictively check the app. And I like that you don't have to swipe on faces. As soon as someone matches your deal breakers and deal makers and you match theirs, you get a notification. And if you don't find a deal breaker or a deal maker that's important to you, you can add your own anonymously. Drum is also video only for more human interactions. Go to drum.date/CMP in your phone's browser. Click the iOS or Google button to install and use the invite code CMP to sign up. If you're already matched up, tell your friends and get your partner to tell their friends. That's DROM.date/CMP. Design and meet your perfect match. And it's free to use. Holy cow. Almost wish I was single. This sounds great. I'm so excited to have this gal on the pod today. Also not single. She's got a really cool, interesting story. We're going to get all into it. She is a content creator. You may know her from OnlyFans. Heck, you may even know her from a certain hospital in Massachusetts. We're going to get into her whole story. So excited to have her here. Allie Rae.
Hi.
Looking gorgeous, looking great. I'm going to put myself here because I don't mind the chat flying on my face. Allie has got such an amazing story. I've interviewed on this podcast before. I know tons of comedians who got into OnlyFans. I'm friends with tons of porn stars who naturally got into OnlyFans. And of course, it all exploded over the pandemic. The men were home and lonely, and a lot of us had a lot of free time. But Allie has such an unique, interesting story because it wasn't even something you were thinking of. You were a full-on NICU nurse, went to nursing school, like the whole deal. And it was just posting, sexy photos of yourself was just something you did to like blow off steam. So I guess I want to know how, because my college that I went to like had a big nursing program in it. And I remember being in college, having friends that were in the nursing majors. And I knew, I was like, oh, they're going to get good jobs and I'm going to probably flounder for the next 15 years. Like I already knew I had made the wrong choice. What made you want to get into nursing initially?
Well, nursing was actually a third career for me. I didn't realize I wanted to be a nurse till, maybe late 20s, actually. I worked in the corporate world. I think what was the most appealing initially, besides the fact that I was like obsessed with science, was that just the flexibility, because I had little kids and, you could be flexible with nursing through hours. And so that's kind of initially what led me there. But then, of course, once I went to nursing school, I realized very quickly, like, this is made for me, because I love science and kind of dorky in that way. And I excelled through nursing school because I just loved every bit of it. So yeah, and then I fell in love with especially neonatal nursing.
And I even love how you got into neonatal nursing, because you would get sort of like very nervous. You were at first working in like the ob-gyn area, or like with deliveries, and then you would get really nervous when something would go wrong with a baby, and you were like, oh, most people would run away from that. They'd be like, I'm nervous, I'm going to back away, I'm going to get away from the babies. Like, I remember I was lifeguarding, somebody brought in a baby, they're like, we think it's choking, and me and my sister ran into the back room. We were like, oh, donuts. But the baby was fine. Everyone relaxed. The baby was fine. I think she wasn't choking. But we were like, that was my impulse.
Yeah,
but yours was to learn more and submerge yourself in it.
Yeah, I was super scared. Like, I would come in and they would usually assign you, oh, you're going to be baby nurse today. When I would always be like, I would be like, dun, 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 dun. And like, I was like freaked out. I'm like, oh my gosh, what if something goes wrong? So I just wanted to like dive head first. I'm like, I have to get over this fear. And so I actually just was going to shadow in the NICU and just try to get comfortable with like really sick babies. And then of course I fell in love and I never turned back. But yeah, that was initially what brought me there.
And then I mean, this whole story is so fascinating. So how many years into nursing were you when you were like, oh, I'm just gonna start on Instagram, let's just post a couple of like, because it's like you're hot. Like, how do you not post pictures of yourself on Instagram? And when did you find yourself getting more into posting?
I would say honestly, it was only maybe like 2017. So I had already graduated from nursing school in 2011. So I had been a nurse maybe 6 or 7 years. And honestly, in 2012, 13, I lost a lot of weight. And I feel like, and I had my children, I was done having kids. And I think I just felt like better and different about myself. And so I started just doing like beer reviews and stuff on Instagram. And then
beer reviews?
Yeah.
What beer? Like, are you a beer girl?
Oh yeah, craft brewery all the way. Mm-hmm.
Ooh, what's your favorite?
I love like a good hazy, like a New England hazy for sure.
I don't even know what that is. I'm like, I've had Blue Moon. Like,
yeah, like a hazy IPA. They're my favorite. Yeah.
Ooh, okay. So you're doing beer reviews on Instagram and posting more photos of yourself. And like, and that's the thing is you got married at 18. Whereas I was a huge slut throughout my 20s. And that's where I got all my attention. And like, I was like, all right, I'm good. Did part of that feel, it's kind of like it's validating, and also, you wanted to show off like your new weight loss, your new body. It's kind of like if you have kids at 18, it's almost like, I wonder if you felt like you've given so many years of your life to raising them and kind of for others. And did you feel like, okay, now it's like, it's my time to like shine and flaunt?
For sure, because I think it's just like, even now, like my husband and I, we are super like young at heart. And I always say it's because we got married so young. Like we didn't get to have like, our 20s and partying all the time with our friends. Like we grew up together essentially. So even now we still like, we go out all the time. And I say we're just catching up like for lost time, because it's just kind of the way we are. We're still really young at heart. And I think, yeah, exactly like you're saying, it was fun. It was liberating. It was good. And people recommended OnlyFans all the time. And I had no idea what the platform was. I just kind of would dismiss the comments. Like I honestly had no clue what it even was, or until COVID. And then during the pandemic, everybody
started at OnlyFans. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Everybody knew about it.
Was it like in March, like right when it hit, that you started OnlyFans?
Actually didn't start it. My first month was September, so I'm coming up on a year. So it was September. So it was actually towards the end, or at least 2020.
Okay, and so you start OnlyFans in September 2020. Not even like 3 months later, 3 months into you doing OnlyFans, you are discovered by some of your coworkers. I am imagining like cunty, bitchy,
Oh, yeah.
like jealous women. That's what I'm imagining, because guys would never do this.
Right.
And girls who are comfortable in their own skin would never do this. So these women discovered you on OnlyFans, but because you didn't use your real name and you didn't mention where you worked, which is very smart, you only got a warning. And then, they discovered your Instagram first.
Yeah, it was the Instagram.
Yeah.
And I, like, when they called me in for that meeting, I thought, like, I didn't actually feel too bad. I was a little disturbed that, like, somebody had reported it, but it wasn't, like, odd for me to have them talk to me about a social media policy. I thought, well, that's appropriate. It's okay. Just want to make sure I'm not going to be staying in the hospital. And because I did play up the nurse, I was a nurse. And so I would take photos and sometimes scrubs, but it was just more so at that point, I was like, I got along with everybody, and I was a pretty senior nurse for the most part. I was really respected. I trained new nurses. It just was really odd to see the shift to go from that nurse that people would look to or grab for help to then, like, who would be doing this? Like, I got along with everyone, so I had no clue who it was.
Oh my God. I mean, they had to have been jealous. Like, I can't think of another reason why you would report somebody's for having Instagram. Like, everybody has Instagram,
Unless they were thinking, it was like going to be bad for the unit, which I would never want that upon any NICU, which is to this day the reason why I'm not naming the facility. I've had a lot of people try to get that out of me, or the people, like, that would only bring negativity to the NICU, and that's not my intentions. That would only hurt the patient care, and that's not my intention. So
yeah, and you're not trying to get revenge. You're not, you have a really good head on your shoulders. So Instagram was discovered December of 2020. Then in March of 2021, I'm assuming these same, like, women or whoever discovered your OnlyFans, which means, OnlyFans is not free. So this person or people, they had to sign up for your OnlyFans. They had to pay whatever the monthly rate was. They did this just to take screenshots and out you to the hospital.
Literally, yeah. That's when it hit me, because then I was like, are you kidding me? So they, like, weren't satisfied with my slap on the wrist. Now they're going to literally pay to subscribe. That's when it became, like, really eerie at work, is like, this is vindictive. Like, this is very, like, Mean Girls, the way I've described it. I was like, this is crazy. And I stood my ground in that meeting. I once again assured them I'm not going by my real name. I'm not representing the hospital. Like, it was really but it definitely changed the tone, and that was definitely not a good situation. No, for that first meeting with OnlyFans. And they were supposed to get in touch with an HR who never got back with me. And I thought, oh, okay, well, maybe I am okay. But either way, it was really tainted around the unit, because everyone just treated me differently too.
That's really horrible. And it was through this experience. That's ultimately why, they were like, basically, you have to delete your OnlyFans or leave your job, right? Did they put it to you that way?
Yeah, the way that it was phrased to me, and I'll never forget it, because it was like, if you're going to continue to create content like this or post things like this online, it's really disruptive to the people on the unit, are very disturbed by it, and that you would either need to discontinue that, or we can't have you working on the unit, which in other words is bye. And so for me, like I said, even if they wouldn't have said that, I would have been like, I didn't need to even be working at that point. I was making so much more money than I was as a nurse. So to go to work and to feel all the time, and know that there's people lurking around you that are paying for your, private photos to use them to exploit you, just at that point was like, why am I here? Like, why am I doing it? I was really stressed. I feel like I talk about it lightly now, maybe because I've told this story so much since this went viral and stuff, but it was very hard for me. It was like, my husband can vouch, like, I cried. I was like, am I doing the right thing? Should I just, like, it was a really hard decision to say, I'm literally walking away from nursing, because I truly loved what I did.
You loved it, and you were really good at it, and you felt like it was your true calling. But at the same time, and I'm sure even now, I don't know if you, like, I wouldn't categorize you as, and I know some people will say, oh, if you're on OnlyFans at all, you're categorized as a sex worker. I don't personally believe that, but I know it probably made you think, like, wow, if this is the backlash that someone is getting just for being on OnlyFans, like, that kind of says a lot about what people think and the judgments that folks have. And then you also mentioned like, wow, I can't believe how little nurses get paid versus how much you could get paid just by, you know, being on OnlyFans.
Yeah, I think COVID in general for most nurses probably felt like, okay, we are a little bit underappreciated here. And I think a lot of nurses, and including myself, got that way. It was like, man, we are like, we're not staying home. Like we're here, we're working, I think all of us kind of felt like we deserve a little more. And so I think you play that on top of the whole experience I was having. It was kind of like, I got to get out of this.
You're like, look, I didn't get to watch Tiger King. I didn't get to kick my feet up with chips every night. You're like, the banging on the pots and pans, it was a nice idea, but some more money would have been great. Right. Holy shit. How did it make you feel, like kind of encountering this stigma, feeling judged? You're probably thinking like, wow, are people whispering behind my back at work every day? Like how much time went by from when you were, I guess, found out the meeting, and then when did you leave the job?
I left in May, so I stayed there for about another 8 weeks. Wow. And then in May I was like, okay, yeah.
And really, it's like they made it a hostile work environment for you more so than you made anybody uncomfortable. Like, I'm sorry, I'm hot, everyone. Like I don't think they'd be like, look, you can delete your account, you can quit, or you can gain back all the weight.
Yeah, you decide.
Your hotness is offending Marcy over there. So, yeah, how did it make you feel? I guess it must have made you, feel more like, I don't know, like your heart probably went out to like, especially the women that's kind of like they don't have another career to fall back on. Maybe they were only able to provide for themselves through OnlyFans, and everyone I know who's joined has gotten shit for it, but they also like make more money than I do. So it's strange.
It is really, I think that's the initial reason too. I wanted to tell my story. Marlo Stern is amazing. He was the original person that wrote this story for the Daily Beast. And it made me want to like help maybe change that perception or help with this stigma, because I am just your normal average girl. Like I wasn't, born into this. I haven't been modeling all these years. Like I'm just your average person. And like, I think I wanted to be somewhat of a different light. Not that the light that other girls are putting out is bad by any means. It's just maybe a more relatable, I guess I could say. And so that was one goal of mine specifically for wanting to tell my story, was to kind of open those, avenues.
Yeah, just to see like, hey, look, like I'm like a regular person with a regular job, and it's not just a lot of people think, oh, like it's just all like hookers and it's regular people. And then you were crushing it on OnlyFans, and then you were like, you know what, like and that's the thing, even if you had deleted your account, it's kind of like they really gave you no choice, because even if you deleted your account, it's still gonna feel hella awkward at work. It's people are still gonna be talking behind your back. It's not gonna feel any better.
No, exactly. And I think I kind of knew it at that point. I think it was the hardest part was just hanging up. Like, I know it's not gone forever. Well, maybe now that I have this viral story, I might have a hard time ever getting back into nursing if I wanted. But I think it's just a matter of, I truly believe, like I can say with full confidence, I was a fantastic NICU nurse. And I felt like it was a loss to the community and to those families. I really do. Because I probably would have stayed a little longer. My husband, was like, at some points like, okay, you don't need to be working full time. You can stop. Like there were so many months, that before then that I totally could have been stopped. But I don't know how long I would have stayed, but I think I would have stayed a lot longer.
Because you loved it. What did you love the most about your work?
The connections with the families. I loved that I was a mom and that I could bond with these mothers and fathers. And I still keep in contact with so many families and their little ones that, made it, and texting. I haven't spoken to any since my story went out. So I don't know, maybe they're like, oh my God, but I will say, like, I just held my job very dear to my heart. I really did. And so I took a lot of pride in it, and I know I was very good at it. I was meant to do it for sure.
Yeah. Of course. I mean, I can't imagine if like you were the reason that my baby like lived. I wouldn't let something like you having an OnlyFans account change my feelings. It's like you're still very good at what you do. Like we can do more than one thing, and be very good at it. And I was gonna ask you like how, because you've been married since you were 18, and you said you found it very liberating because you felt like you got married really young. And you're like, okay, I'm kind of out there now with this OnlyFans account. At what point did you start to involve your husband in your content?
Well, from the beginning, we made every decision to go into OnlyFans together. We are super close, great communication. So it wasn't like I started one and was like, hey, by the way. But I will say, like in the beginning, when we started, it was mostly just all me. And then we just kind of started implementing, and for video purposes. I mean, I'm very faithful to my husband, so I was like, need you here's so we can do some videos. But yeah, he's totally not the camera guy. He's camera shy. He doesn't want to be a part of it that way, but he's definitely appears in other ways on videos. So it was pretty.
So his face is not on camera.
No. It just pretty early on, that he was involved as well.
Did you have to like convince him to go to get involved?
No, not really. I mean, I think for the most part, we had already had a lot of I look back at some of our initial videos we used to send out and I'm like, these were like our private home videos, that we would do. So I'm like, it's kind of funny to think that those were some of the first ones that we started to share. And I think our earlier subscribers, and we still have quite a few, really can appreciate just the evolving that has occurred in me in general, and just kind of where we started and where we are now. But yeah, they were very.
We didn't know our angles at first,
Yeah, it was very home camera, phone, selfie. It was very, it was good.
Aw, wow, that's really neat. And it seems like you and your husband must have really good communication too. So many men would feel emasculated by having their wife or girlfriend on OnlyFans. Like I've talked to so many people where it's an issue, or I know a girl that every time she seems to date somebody new, she's got to disable her account. So to what do you owe your strong bond and your good communication?
I think a lot of it is when I say we grew up together, essentially we met, literally, I think we met a week after I turned 18, and we've been together. Like, I don't know adulthood without him. He doesn't know adulthood without me. So we have always been super, super close. And I think if there's any trust issues or any lapse in communications in a relationship, this could never work, because this is like throwing yourselves to the dragons. It would be horrible. But there's an immense level of trust. And I'm pretty, on my OnlyFans, I am very, very, very hard on them about, do not disrespect my husband. Do not come in my DMs and say you're better than him. Don't tell me this. Don't tell me that. Don't ask me to. I put it as a PSA right on my page. I will block you. And I stand by that, because I'm not going to tolerate that. And so I think everyone that is a subscriber, I've literally ran into maybe 4 people I've had to block out of the thousands of people. They respect that I am somebody's wife, and that is no need for that. So I nip that in the butt right away.
I love that. First of all, not only is that hot, and so now you're like attracting like guys who are like, yeah, I'm into watching. I'm not trying to like snatch up this girl. Like it's kind of like, okay, they're not delusional. Like I have a shot. But I also think it's really great, because like I'm all for like whatever makes a guy more into their own girlfriend or wife. Like that's great, and I think when guys like who consume porn, or like on OnlyFans or whatever, if that comes in the way of them meeting a nice woman or spending quality time with their like girlfriend or wife, then I would say, yeah, like that can be a bad thing, or that can be like a handicap or a speed bump. Yeah, when it's encroaching on your own intimacy, like, okay, that's not good, but you put it out there straight away. And I feel like that would encourage men to, kind of like bring it with their own girlfriends and wives. Like, have you seen that in your messages?
Oh, I have so many couples on my page, and it's awesome. I remember the first time that I had a couple message me. And I was like, oh my gosh, like there's like, I have couples on here. And now I have so many, for so many different reasons. And, you know, some are just in a lifestyle where they, you know, share multiple partners and what have you. Some are in a lifestyle where they're looking to spice up their own life. So, I mean, it is crazy to see. And so I always say, like, it feels good though, because I feel like I have helped. Like, I talk with every single one of my subscribers. If you message me, I definitely talk to them, and like can help. Like, you come to me with problems they're having or things like maybe they want advice on, and it's just super cool. It's really unique. They have a very unique community, and I'm glad I have that. I do hold that. I do try to keep that personal touch still. And so yeah, there's a lot of couples.
Yeah, and it's definitely like between being a nurse and now it's like the through line is like empathy and caring and wanting to help people. It's just like it's in different ways. And then so you have 3 kids. I don't know if they're 12, 17, and 18 now, but at the time the article came out. So you and your husband realized you had to tell your 2 older kids what was going on, and how did they react to the news?
Yeah, so our older 2, you know, especially, I know they follow a lot of the same stuff, like, you know, people on Instagram and things like that. And I was worried about, well, I panicked from the beginning of them coming across a picture of their mom on, you know, like Girls of the NHL or the Chive or someone posting me. Like, the Chive really worried me. And
What
that
is the Chive? How do I not know what this is?
Oh my gosh, the Chive is an amazing community. I feel like it's more our age group, like, or it was bigger then. It's like a Barstool, but it's called the Chive.
Oh my God. All right.
Yeah, but you know how like Barstool has their Barstool smoke shows? Well, Chive has like Chivettes. And so they post their Chivettes a lot. They're very good to their Chivettes. And I was worried they were going to come across a pic and be like, oh my God, it's my fucking mom. And so and then I had just quit my job in May, you know, and so we took the older 2 to dinner. And we're trying to really skate around everything and like find the best way to put this into words without being like, your mama's on OnlyFans. And they were like, we got it. We know we're good. You know, like
so they knew.
Like, well, I don't know if they knew, but they knew like packages were arriving for Allie Rae. So they were probably like, well, that's interesting. But they could read between the lines of what we were trying to tell them for the most part. And so we really didn't have to say much more. And to be honest, it's been so great that the older 2 at least are aware that I'm in some type of lifestyle this way, because they kind of understand why there's ring lights everywhere and why, you know, I need to be like, take your younger brother to the beach type thing. Like, mama needs to make content, you know, that it's just kind of like a little easier now that they have some idea of what's going on.
Okay, yeah. So I was gonna say, like, do you lock them in the basement or something? Be like, we gotta pay rent, girls. You know.
No, I think it's just nice now, because we used to have to like try to hide everything, or like even just conversations. Sometimes my husband, I'd be up late talking about things and I'm like, we're really loud right now. Like, I bet you they can hear what we're saying. So we would get super worried. Like, are they hearing us talk about or saying OnlyFans or this or that? So it's like so much better now that we don't have to worry so much about that. We do have a younger one who's 12, but he's very young at heart. He's still more like 9, 10. And so
I feel like boys, it takes them longer to like get. And your 2 oldest, are they girls?
All boys.
Oh, they're all boys. Okay. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. So of course you were like more worried for your sons. Like, oh no, like stop jerking off to my mom.
Oh, I remember when my oldest was like, he was on TikTok one day and he was like looking up hashtags MILF talk, and I was looking at my husband. I'm thinking, I use that fucking hashtag. I'm like, we got a problem. Like, we have got to talk to them. So, but we have them blocked on all platforms and all their friends blocked.
So you have, this is what I'm worried about. So you have all of their friends, they're blocked, all their friends are blocked. How do you keep up with that? How do you know who all their friends are? Like, what if there are dummy accounts?
I mean, they're, especially my oldest now, they're becoming of age. They could very well potentially be subscribers at some point. I don't know. I don't know how to, I tried not to think about that because it just makes me go crazy inside.
Can't you see who all is subscribing?
You can, but people sign up anonymous all the time. Like, I know we have people that know us personally that are subscribed that under a different name. Like, it's obvious, I'm sure. but we block on Instagram, every platform. We've done everything to block them everywhere. But when the story went viral, I had to have another talk with them. Like, how are things? Like, I know your friends probably know. And they said, honestly, my oldest, he says, our friends, they were just like, more power to you. Like, they haven't, like, I was worried about them getting teased or something about it. And they said that's not been the case. So that's good.
Yeah, and it's good to be open about it. Have you like given your kids like any kind of a sex talk? That's at any point, like before, after this? Well, probably before, but I don't know. I'm still waiting for my sex talk.
Right.
So
I was the first to jump to that when they were a little younger than now. I remember when we had that conversation, and I had it pretty easily because I was a nurse and I just took the whole like medical side of it. Basically scared the shit out of them that, you can catch diseases and get babies. And so I handled that part. But since this has come about, we haven't discussed anything more. But I mean, they're boys. I know that. I know their friends are, guys, and we just do the best we can. I scour their Instagrams, and anybody I know they associate with or that knows us personally, I instantly will block on all accounts. And so,
wow, that sounds like a lot of work. That's a lot of upkeep, but yeah, it's worth it. It's I think you're going about it the right way. It's like you're open, you're not hiding anything, but at the same time, you're like,
I'm taking appropriate measures at least.
Yeah. Interesting. So you guys moved to Florida. Do you feel like, right, and you were saying that you still miss being a nurse, like you're great at what you do. I guess, what do you miss most about nursing?
I used to think, I think I missed the purpose. It felt good to do what I did. It doesn't feel bad doing what I do now by any means, but I guess I just miss being there with the moms and the dad. Like, especially during COVID, our hospital in particular, they only allowed one parent visit at a time. They couldn't even be as a family together. And it just used to tick me off so much. And looking at now nurses and how there's like what they're, all these mandates and stuff, and who knows if these hospitals are going to make them get vaccinated. I can't even imagine being in that. And I guess for me now, I'm like, I lucked out because there's a lot of people that aren't in my position and that couldn't just walk away from it. And then I feel for those people. I really do. So that's what I try to tell myself when I get super worked up about it. I kind of try to think, well, I probably would have left anyway, if it got to be really bad.
That's true. And they also like the vibe was so bad that they kind of, again, like left you no choice. What was it like? This is interesting because you were working at a hospital. Were you working in the NICU, or you were working with like delivery, at the beginning of the pandemic? So what was that like? Were moms coming in? Were they like so freaking out at the beginning?
No, I was actually that was the only part that I really experienced that was hard was that if their mother was positive, they weren't able to be around their babies even after born for like so many days in the NICU. And that just like, it killed me. And so I hated that for them. And so the moms, that was really hard. Well, not just moms, it was hard on all families. There's something about that family dynamic when you have a child together, and that moment is a moment you will never forget. And they were robbed of that, and that sucks. And I feel for them for that.
Yeah. And it seems like that kind of unnecessarily, like they, like kids are not really getting it. God, that's crazy. Were you ever, I'm so curious, were you ever like naughty in the hospital at all? Did you ever like take any fun photos? Like,
I think I have a few bathroom selfies like in the mirror in my scrubs. Those are so highly requested.
Really?
Oh my gosh, to this day, they still want, I'm like, I have kept my scrubs. They're very, very, what's hard is I'm like, scrubs just aren't sexy though. Like, they cover everything. And so when people request stuff with scrubs, I'm like, how do I make this so like, it shows nothing. So
yeah, like I have to kind of V-neck. Yeah. I gotta
right.
Like,
it's like, this shorts. Is so hard to really do up, but yeah, people love that. Like definitely the famous photo, I call it now, of me and my scrubs that was ran on the headline of so many of these stories everybody's seen. But that photo has been everywhere and people love it. I get so many comments on it just because I'm in my scrubs, even if I'm not showing anything. Yeah.
You know what it is? It's just like, it's such a powerful fantasy because it's like whenever you see like people in scrubs, it's always like very, very serious, not thinking about sex. And it's like the fact that like you could be in scrubs, you're like, oh, but I'm masturbating in my scrubs. Like, that's fun.
Right.
It's fun to mix it up.
Yep. Exactly.
What other than that, what are some of your like most requested either like for content or photos?
Definitely a lot of me and my husband. They love it. They love it, love it, love it. Point of view is a huge thing, you know, like in this industry in general, people love point of view stuff. I know content creators that solely don't even show their face, that are behind a camera and they're just filming a point of view and they make so much money. I've met actually people recently like that. And so that's a huge, huge popular one. Scrubs definitely though. That's probably my number one. Oh, and tight, like pantyhose, leggings, things like that. They definitely love.
Do you do anything in like whatever the Halloween nurse costume equivalent? Like do you own like a Halloween nurse costume? And like if so, does it feel like silly to put it on?
It's so funny because this past week I went to visit a friend in California and do some collaborative content. And she was a teacher. And so we really wanted to do a nurse teacher thing. And I could not find, I didn't bring my scrubs because we didn't think about it till then. But I could not find a nurse's costume everywhere. We went to so many stores in LA. But I thought about it, I'm like, this is total opposite of what a nurse wears. So yeah, it would have felt super costumey, but I think it probably wouldn't have had the same effect as the blue scrubs. People love those blue scrubs.
Wow. I had no idea.
Maybe I could take like a pair of my old blue clubs and like crop top it, cut the V out. Like I should probably do that. Then I can make it more sexy.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds great. I was just about to ask you, so you've collaborated it with like friends of yours, or has anyone reached out, like any other, you know, girls on OnlyFans or couples on OnlyFans, like, hey, like let's work together?
Oh yeah, a lot, especially now. And I used to be like, you know, the little guy. And so I never like felt like I could ask anyone or anything, but now I have a lot of people reaching out like all the time. Absolutely.
Who are like some people you would love to work with?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Well, I just started to like even dabble in girl stuff. And so that's new to me. And I think it'll probably stay pretty, I probably won't do it much because I feel like there has to be like a common bond there, a connection. Like it's awkward for me. And so but I did have someone who I bonded with well, and we did create some content, which was awesome. But yeah, I think as I explore that role more, there's a lot of females that like to do definitely collab together for sure.
Good. And what does your husband think about that?
Oh, of course. He's
of
like,
course, I know.
The first time I had something set up and something came up, it was just an unfortunate situation for both of us. And it didn't go through. And so then when the next opportunity came up, you know, I know he was just like, I'm like, you think I'm going to back out of this one or something? Like he was just waiting. He's like, you're going to do this. I'm like, look at you, you're getting excited about this. So yeah.
Was cool. He involved at all, or he just like likes to watch the finished product?
No, yeah, he did involve. He's the first to see it. That's for sure.
Oh, that's great. I'm going to take a couple super chats before these disappear. Oh, from Matthew. I love Sydney Watson on TimCast IRL for this. I want to find out about her small business. Oh, yeah. Always supporting our small business owners here. Because that's what I'll say. I'll say small business owner because if I write OnlyFans in YouTube, it like immediately gets demonetized.
Yep, it's so true.
So yeah, small business owner. From 200 Watt Studio, very faithful or completely faithful? Wow, nitpicking.
Completely faithful, except for the girl stuff. I mean, I guess that.
Yeah, mostly. No, that's very. I would say that's very / I don't know. It doesn't count when it's a girl. Maybe I'm old fashioned. 200 Watt Studio again. Do you do nurse stuff on OnlyFans like catheter play? Oh no.
I have not done that yet. Actually, I'm surprised that has not even been like requested. That shocks me because I have seen that on other people's stuff. Like, you know, people comment about that.
Do you use equipment in your content?
Yes, all kinds of equipment.
Ooh. Okay, maybe I'm still thinking about the catheter.
I know, it's painful. I don't know that I would be doing that.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. I have more questions here. Okay, so I want to know. So you didn't know what OnlyFans was at all. You were just posting on Instagram, and so you didn't like look at OnlyFans at all. You just were like, you just created an account and were like, let's see what this is.
Yeah, actually, I created it. It was a pain in the ass to sign up because as a creator, you got to verify who you are, fill out tax forms. And I remember even looking over my husband because it took like 4 or 5 times. And I told him, I'm like, this is so annoying. If this does this again, I'm not even gonna. To this day, I talk about that moment. Like, what if I would have not? Because I was literally getting at a point, and anyone that's signed up for OnlyFans knows what I'm talking about because it is so frustrating. I was literally gonna hang it up. So I created the account, posted one pic, and left it for like 2.5 weeks. And then I came in and I was like, oh my God, like there's subscribers to this thing. Cause I had told a couple people and I felt bad. I'm like, oh my God, they're just there. They've paid and they're not giving them any content. So that's when I started just like posting every other day or, what have you, or day. And that first month we almost made $8,000. So, and that was like very little effort, man. I was like, oh, okay. So this can be real.
That's amazing. And like how did you know how many like photos to post like versus videos? Like how did you figure that out?
At that point, I mean, I was working like so many hours, obviously overtime and what have you. So I was only posting at least once a day, I think is what I did. And I hadn't followed any other girls to even see how a page was ran, but I assumed that there were girls probably posting lots, but I just didn't have the vault or the content to be able to post that many. Obviously because I was working and I had never really posted photos of myself naked. So I think the first ones were just like topless shots or what have you. And I don't even know if I showed my face in some of those very first posts. Yeah.
Did you feel like, okay, I have to start like cranking up the content? Like, did you feel pressure to do anything that you weren't ready to do?
No, I think I probably I felt like a pretty, compared to what I had, have seen on Pornhub and other things, I felt like, I remember even having conversations like with my husband, like, I'm not gonna be the girl just shoving candy canes at me and me on cam for 24 hours. Like these people are probably pissed. I was like, they're probably like, what the hell? Cause that's what I assumed that OnlyFans would be about at that point. So I thought, why are they here? Like I'm, my photos, I'm just a regular girl. I didn't get it. But no, I took it my own pace. I just felt like I was going to do something different. And I felt like to this day, I feel like it's like a naughty Instagram per se. Like I post on it, I do stories on it, I talk, I status, I do some videos where I'm not nude. I do all kinds of stuff. And I've always tried to keep that personal touch and just keep it real. And I'm pretty transparent about things on there with people. I'm not afraid to show my vulnerability and that I'm nervous about something. And I think that's really, I think what I get feedback is what they like. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you gotten any requests that you're just like, okay, I won't do this? Like, what are your like no-go zones?
I just got one this week and it's like the funniest one. I always like to like preface this with, I do not make fun of anyone's fetishes. This is simply just in good heartedness. But, so I got offered like 20 grand for some teeth. So there was this guy.
Wait, for your teeth?
For my teeth.
Which ones? Just any teeth?
Well, I told him I'd upcharge for the molars, but I told him I would not be doing that. I don't feel comfortable sending teeth. I think that's actually illegal. Someone told me that was illegal anyway.
It's illegal to send teeth?
To sell a body part? I don't think you can sell body parts. I think that
you can be an organ donor.
That's true. I don't know. But I thought that was crazy. And the amount of money. And
let's shame them. That's crazy.
And first of all,
that's like your teeth. You only have a certain amount. I should know the amount, but like once you take them out, like I think it might even cost 20 grand to like get new ones put in.
I know. I was like thinking, damn, you should hit me up when my kids were younger. They were losing them by the week. I could have
Yes.
saved some teeth.
And he was like, I
But
am the tooth fairy.
no, it was crazy. Another one that I've gotten that's really pretty cool. Actually, I knew nothing about this, but are Lunars, and these people in this fetish genre, they like to watch you blow up and pop balloons, and so they pay very good money to watch you do so. And so I ordered a 500 count pack of balloons, and I've been blowing and popping balloons. I met that Lunar pretty early on. So
What do you
yeah.
make to pop a balloon? Like, what are these people?
Oh, like a 5-minute video, maybe $350 to $550. Yeah.
I'm hanging up this podcast. This is the last episode, everyone. I'm switching gears. I'm good. I think I have what it takes to be a balloonist. Although I do think I would probably get lightheaded after like the second one.
Right. It's kind of crazy, but the nurse in me really was trying to figure out where some of these like extreme fetishes like evolve from. And so I read a lot, and a lot of it, develops in childhood, but it's so interesting because there's so many different ones that I've come across. And yeah.
I've always found it so fascinating too to get into like the psychology behind fetishes and like there's always some kind of like power dynamic that's interesting, and a lot of roots in childhood, and like it's like, all right, if you can have fun with it, it's like make the best of your mommy daddy issues.
Right. I'm just like, okay, yeah. And some of it you just never comprehend, but you just respect. Sometimes I think it's a joke when they come through, but they're very real, and they're usually like the most nicest and loyalist like customer subscribers, because they know it's weird, and they know they probably don't like have to go try to solicit it all the time. So when they find someone who is willing to do so, they stick around.
Like, oh, this is my new balloon girl. Like, I'm good for 6 months. I can't believe that they don't also have you like suck. I would think balloon fetish people, like, you got to suck the helium. Like that would like.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. The
talking
popping
a high voice till it wears off.
For some, it's the anticipation of the popping. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It would make me anxious. Ringy asks, do you think there is ever a place for men only fans?
Oh yeah. There's a lot of, especially
only mans.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I know there are successful men on OnlyFans, especially with that point of view stuff, from a male's point of view of a female. I know people that are very successful doing that.
Oh, yeah. That's very, isn't that funny? It's like, I'm so successful. No one can see my face, but they're crushing it. 200 watt. I was joking about the catheter. Does not sound fun to me. I hope that's not a real fetish. I'm sure it is. I'm sure somewhere. It might be in Allie's DMs as we speak. So other than getting the request of like in your real scrubs, have there been any other like requests that you've really enjoyed doing and that maybe like you integrate into your normal routine now?
I have another guy who just loves smiles, and so videos smiling and stuff that he likes. And
a smile guy? Oh, that's so precious.
And I'm like, this is so easy, but it's kind of nice because I don't know, maybe he has a very depressing life and he needs a smile, or maybe he works in a dark area. I don't know, but
I think the smile guy and the tooth guy need to meet. I think they would be friends.
There's some very specific ones. I'm very, very particular about certain things. I mean, I like people to pitch me their custom, we call it, beforehand, because there's some stuff I won't do. Some people like to be called derogatory names and stuff like that. And I'm very careful with what I put my face on a video doing, because you have
no idea what that could be used for. Yeah.
So I'm pretty, usually there's a workaround and I could, figure out a way to make something work. But certain things like I won't, racially, I won't, degrade someone or something like that. But otherwise, it's good.
Yeah, I figure if it's like anything that you're okay with it potentially being public, I think is probably a good way to.
Yeah, that's the hard part, is you don't know where it ends up. And so you have to be careful. And I have to also be mindful too, like, of my husband and I's image as a married couple too. I don't want not everyone knows when if they receive that video third party, like that somebody paid for that and they actually scripted that out for me to do it. Like it could be taken in wrong context. And so I'm pretty careful about that too.
Yeah, it's got to be difficult though, right? Because the communication has to be constant, and it's also up to him to like tell you right away if something's bothering him. Or he sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, we talk about everything. It definitely, if there's anything I feel like is even near questionable, we run it by. And it's not just like, oh, can I do this? It's not like that. It's more like, does this paint, things in the right light? Can this be taken out of context? Is this, healthy for, everyone? So yeah, we're pretty good. We're a good team.
How has it affected like your guys' intimacy and your own sex life, like working together and you're doing OnlyFans?
Yeah, I haven't noticed any change like to the negative at all. We do great. We've always been really sexually active. It's kind of like, I think, and we pretty much, that's what we do on my OnlyFans a lot too. Most of the content we put out, I tell people like, this was not staged. Like this is literally, we just came from the bar and we're screwing in the backseat type thing. Like this is really what we're doing. And so a lot of it is on there, and that's kind of hot. I think we both enjoy that. Like it's kind of like, people are watching. I don't know. We like it.
How did you meet him?
Okay. I tell this story and I don't know how this was heard, but so I met him. We met in the club at 18. I don't know. It must've been like teen night. I don't know. Because every time I tell the story, I'm like, how did we meet in the club at 18? But we were just with two different parties of friends, and we both were standing off to the side bored, ready to go home. And we seen each other and started talking, and then we've pretty much been inseparable since our first month of meeting.
Oh, like when did you know? I mean, we're so young. Like, were you thinking marriage right away?
I think for me at least, like I was in the Navy, so I was living far away from home. I didn't have a very close relationship with my family, my parents and stuff. He wasn't super close with his either, and so we kind of had that bond there. Where like we were ready to start a family, as odd as it sounds at 18. We were crazy.
No, that's sweet.
We definitely both had the same goals. And I think it was like, we were looking to make our own circle, our own little tribe. And that's when it just all clicked, and we just evolved from there.
And what made you want to join the Navy? Was your family at all? Were they in the military in any way?
No, I graduated high school at 16. And then at 17, I was living with my dad, who was a bachelor, he was gone all the time. I was kind of like on my own. I was super ambitious, but kind of suppressed just in general because my home life. And so I don't even know, a recruiter met me one day somewhere, and I was like, oh, the Navy? And I remember thinking, well, what do they wear? And I was like, they have the little cracker
navy blue. Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's kind of cute. And then I joined. This was like 2 weeks after September 11th. So
whoa,
I didn't know what the hell I was getting into. And I was the youngest sailor in the Navy for like 2 years in a row. I was so young. I had just turned 17.
Wow. And where, and you said you were in New Orleans for Katrina. What was that like?
Yeah, so that was crazy. That was like my second duty station, actually. And I was down there, and we had two of our children at that time, and Katrina came, and it just, for me being in the Navy, I worked for the air logistics office. So it was just crazy. And we lived with two toddlers in a hotel for like, months and months. It was horrible. And I was working like 24-hour shifts, in the Navy. And so then we just got to a point where, we were going to be stationed in New Orleans after it had gone through the, ringer with things. It was not a great place to live. And I made the decision to get out after 6.5 years.
Wow. Yeah. I was just in New Orleans like a couple weeks ago. Woo! Bourbon Street got rougher. It was a hot mess.
I know. And then now they just got hit with the other storm. My God.
Oh yeah. Maybe it's like a big power wash for Bourbon Street. I don't know.
It was so bad there. Yeah. So then I got out, and I was scared to get out. I mean, I had been in since I was a child. I had no idea. I was like, I don't even know how to, I've never had to interview. I've never had to do anything. And I did so well. I think my military education just set me right up. I was super structured, very independent. I mean, they loved it. I got any job I wanted with the military background. It was really good.
That's so great. Wow.
Yeah.
And then you didn't go right into nursing. You kind of worked a little bit in marketing before going into nursing school.
Yep. I did a lot of, I worked for a lot of different industries, the banking industry. Worked in property management, marketing. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So you're just crushing it all over. Doing great. Allie, what advice would you give someone, not necessarily a nurse, but maybe, yeah, if there are nurses listening that want to leave their job for OnlyFans. Yeah. What would you tell somebody who is like, not sure if they should make the jump to just doing OnlyFans full time or just starting it out?
I'm definitely going to start, like, I've had so many people pour out asking for advice and help. So I'm going to definitely start like a 12-part video series of some kind. I want to help just kind of share what I learned, the tricks and the trades of this industry and OnlyFans in particular. But I guess I would start off by saying, first, if you're in a relationship, you need to make sure that's good first. Because the worst thing you want to do is pour yourself into this and then find out like it's causing problems with your marriage or your partner, whatever it may be. That communication's got to be solid. And then secondly, if that's not the case, is consistency. I feel somewhat bad because I feel like my story makes it look so easy, and you just boom, you're making 6 figures a month so quickly and easy. And the reality is I put in more hours into this now than I did as a nurse. And this is cool because you can make your own schedule, but it is a lot of time and commitment. It is not just post a pic, go out and party with the girls and you're done. It is like you have to really, you can do half-ass it a little bit and you can make still great side cash. I mean, easily, I think you could pull in a couple thousand doing that. But if you want to make it like super, super good, you have to, these top creators are pouring in. It is a business. It is a lot of time and a lot of effort on all platforms. You got to manage your socials. So consistency would be my biggest, piece of advice for sure.
And how much of it is like real customer relations? Like how many people would you say you have to kind of keep up with and keep in contact with and answer back?
Oh my gosh. Well, when my story went viral, obviously I had up to like 890 messages in my OnlyFans. That's a lot for OnlyFans.
That's so
like in a day. I mean, before that, I had a lot of subscribers, and I would say I had maybe like 70 to 80 to manage. On Instagram, you probably every girl knows this on Instagram. Your Instagram messages are always crazy. I can't get back to all those, but I do try on my OnlyFans to get to every message that I can possibly. But some people don't. Some people say, they only answer messages with tips, and that's okay. And I don't, anybody for that. But I personally allow messages without tips. Maybe I'm crazy because it is time consuming, but I think it's important to keep that connection. But oh yeah, you get up there in subscribers. I mean, these people pay to be on your site. They're going to want to chat. And it's time consuming. So you'd have to devote, 2 hours of messaging, 2 hours of content, eat for 30 minutes. Then
wow.
you have to get in. And
it's like 2 hours of answering your messages a day. That's what I was guessing. It was about that much.
And it might not even be enough. I mean, that definitely wouldn't be enough for me right now. I can't get to every message every day, but I definitely, in spare time, waiting in line at the store, I'll get through a couple. I mean, you really got to be on it if that's what you do. But yeah, it's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And plus like all the equipment you have to buy and like outfits and,
oh yeah. The social
lingerie.
media, you got to be present on every social media platform because exposure, that's your key, right? I mean, you want to be seen everywhere. And so, you got Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Tumblr.
Are you on TikTok?
Oh my God. I'm very new to TikTok. I was so resistant to TikTok. I'm like, that is so corny. Like, I cannot do that. Now I'm obsessed with it. I love TikTok. I love doing TikToks. I was super busy this past 2 weeks, obviously, so I have not been able to do TikToks, but it's killing me. I'm like, I miss it. It's so I am huge on TikTok, and it's one of the very last, I believe, social media platforms that you can get real exposure on. I mean, real exposure. And it's just, you can't put a price on that because it's awesome.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
Amazing.
you need to be on TikTok.
I need to be on TikTok is the bottom line. I've been judging it from afar, but maybe I'll have to
Yeah,
cave.
bite the bullet. Just do it. It feels
Russell
fun. It
Hall.
feels
I have
stupid.
a huge kink for watching women solve complex math formulas dressed as popular brand mascots. How much to dress as Count Chocula and solve for pie? Oh boy.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if we could solve for pie. That might be hard.
That would be, I think that's impossible.
That's funny though.
We have some funny people in the
I
chat.
love it. Love it.
Oh, I love it. I'm looking forward to your video series on like how to,
Yeah,
tips and tricks for OnlyFans. That sounds cool.
for sure. I want to. I've had so many women and men reach out, like saying, "We've been wanting to do this. Like, let's take a plunge." And I thought, I should just put it all together in a video series and just do like a YouTube thing on it because I mean, I could lay it out. I mean, I learned that platform when the news came out about OnlyFans. I was like devastated because I feel like I finally mastered
Right.
the
Yes.
platform.
Were you ready to move all of your fans over to one of these other sites like Fansly or what's it, Loyal Fans? I forget the names.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Yeah, I was definitely ready to do so. And I have talks with lots of different business partnerships and stuff that potentially I may still work with that. But it was, yeah, I guess I never was too worried only because OnlyFans doesn't have a search feature. So all your fans that you've gotten there, you got them there on your own, through your own social medias. So the reality is you can get them, they're there for you specifically. You know, they found you in some way outside of OnlyFans. So, it never occurred to me that I would be like, I know people were like, she's going to have to go back to being a nurse. She's going to be broke. And like,
yeah.
I'll be all right.
Wash the scrubs. Get ready. No.
Yeah.
You said that you were dabbling a little bit in girl. I guess, would you do girl porn? Is that something you'd ever consider? Like outside of OnlyFans, like if you were approached?
For full porn, like somewhere, I don't know. And I don't think probably not any kind of porn if I was outside. I mean, I guess I don't know if what I'm doing is considered porn. I mean, I'm selling it for money. So I don't know what the technical definition is. But I think all the content that I create now, I do pride myself in it that spontaneous, unique, that it's not really this big high production. And that goes to say for any girls on OnlyFans, most people on OnlyFans, they could get high production anywhere, realistically. That's, what they can get for free other places. And they kind of want that more, personal, just candid moments. So I don't think, I don't know. I guess I can never say never, but if, different opportunities approached, but for now, I think it's just sticking with OnlyFans.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna wonder if like any like porn production places have reached out to you, any like large companies.
Oh, there's always stuff in the DMs, but it's hard to really filter out what's legit and what's not. Sometimes a lot of that stuff like gets dismissed.
Some guy that's like, oh yeah, I'm just a startup here.
Come on out to LA to my basement.
Yeah. Oh my God. Here's a picture of my dick. And if anybody was really serious, yeah, they would like find your real email or like a booking email. Cool, Allie. I'm loving you. I'm loving your whole story. I think I might have to go look at some nurse porn now. Where can people find you, follow you? I'm going to share your link tree here. Your
oh yeah, perfect.
I think it's called a link tree. Yeah.
Yeah, all my links. Yeah,
all
so
my links.
It's just my website, theallieray.com.
The Allie Rae. I think you're on Twitter as Mrs. Allie Rae, Instagram The Allie Rae, TikTok. I gotta get on TikTok now.
Yes, gotta get on TikTok. All the things. Yes.
Ooh, and AVN stars.
Sure. Yeah, I really have created my profile on so many websites because it's like having my The Allie Rae, like Twitter. There's a girl who has my The Allie Rae, and I messaged her. She hasn't been on since 2008, so I'm probably not going to get it. But I told her in the message, I am doing a little bit of adult work, and she's like a Christian gospel singer. So I was like, I don't know what you want this. Like, just give me the damn handle.
That's really funny. I thought you were about to. They meant to message her and be like, look, I'm doing better than you. So give it up.
Like, give it to me. I know, but it's like she hasn't been on since 2008. And so I'm like, I just want the Allie Rae on everything. But
it should expire. Like if you've been inactive for 2 years, like come on already.
Right? Like, what if you had Britney Spears? Like, if you got that before she got a Twitter, like, can she have that? I mean,
she probably would contact you to buy it off of you.
To buy it. Yeah, and I would pay for it. So
if you're listening, other Allie Rae, time to give it up.
Yeah, you don't want to be associated with me. I don't think I'm good for you.
Right. Unless she's like doing like Christian OnlyFans. That would be a real curveball.
That's true.
From 200 Watt, do you have a studio that you use for your OnlyFans? Do you make sets?
We are house shopping right now, and I'm definitely going to have a studio for sure, because I am really need to separate the space from where I do things to like our living arrangement. You know what I mean? It just, yeah. So there will be.
Totally. And from Matthew, this went a different direction than I originally thought. Does she see an end to this? Dun, dun, dun. Are you going to join OnlyGrams when you turn 75?
No, but I really did feel a little bit of comfort when I started reading there's something called a GILF, which is a grandma, GILF. I was like, oh, okay, so there's a future for me.
You could be a GILF right now, which is wild.
I know. I'm like, do not do this to me. I told my oldest, because we had him at this age. I'm like, oh my God. No, actually this year, upcoming year is gonna be a lot of exciting things. I'm definitely looking into podcasts and so kind of like a traveling show where I may be involving some breweries and stuff like that. I'm not going to talk too much about it yet, but I'm super excited. I definitely have some other things lined up. And so I would really like to just continue to build around the guests that I have had. And like I said, I want to do the video education series, things like that. And I think there's so many opportunities now, especially with the exposure I have. And I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, Allie Rae IPA. I see a whole future for you.
Oh, I love it.
Spokesperson. Oh my God. I can't wait to see what the future holds. Allie, thank you so much for coming on the pod. It was such a delight to talk to you. And I'm so proud of you.
You're so sweet. Thank you so much. I'm so glad. And thank you to your viewers and everything for being here watching, and love it.
Yes,
thank you. Story.
Thank you, chat. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the super chats. Until next time, guys. Thank you so much. Bye.